in the morning.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It is a beautiful, albeit crazy, day in the soap world, and we have a massive amount of drama to unpack today. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive right into the madness. I cannot believe they actually went there. I am sitting here, staring at my screen, typing furiously in the middle of the night, completely and utterly speechless after watching the latest episode. I mean, we all knew Victor Newman was under a massive amount of pressure lately, but to see him completely shatter, to witness the absolute destruction of the great Victor Newman's mind. I am losing my mind over this, because let's be real, Victor has always been the untouchable god of Genoa City, but this mental breakdown is unlike anything we have ever seen in the entire history of the show. I am half celebrating because the man finally gets some much-needed karma, but I am also genuinely terrified for him. Am I the only one who feels this weird, conflicting mix of pity and I told you so? I've been watching this show for years and years, and Victor Newman has always been the guy pulling the strings. Remember when they tried to make him vulnerable in the past? Yeah, didn't work then either because he always had a backup plan. He always had a trick up his sleeve, a hidden agenda, some secret lever to pull. But this time, the writers are actually stripping away his armor, and it is raw, and it is painful, and it is so incredibly satisfying yet heartbreaking to watch. He has been spinning so many plates orchestrating the Patty Williams attacks against Jack, kidnapping Jack on that yacht, using an illegal AI program to steal Newman Enterprises back from Phyllis, and dealing with Nick's horrifying fentanyl addiction. It was a ticking time bomb. You cannot juggle that much dark, malicious karma without it eventually crushing your own soul. And oh boy, is it crushing him now. But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about the absolute most despicable thing he did that triggered this whole psychological collapse. He liquidated Nikki's assets while she was in surgery. I'm sorry, but what kind of monster does that? Nikki is fighting for her life, literally facing a terrifying tumor on her optic nerve, going under the knife with the very real possibility of waking up permanently blind. And what does her loving husband do? He uses that exact moment of her extreme vulnerability to secretly liquidate her financial assets. I was screaming at my television. How could he? How could he possibly justify that in his twisted, controlling brain? He thought he was protecting his empire from her independence, but he was actually destroying the one thing that mattered most. And that immense, suffocating guilt is exactly what has pushed him over the edge into this severe mental crisis. So now, we are watching Victor experience these intense, terrifying bouts of paranoia and deep depression. The man is hallucinating. The great Victor Newman is seeing things and hearing things, and able to distinguish reality from his own tortured imagination. It is chilling to watch Eric Braeden play this level of erratic vulnerability. Victor is pacing around the ranch, jumping at shadows, haunted by the relentless pressure of his own revenge plots. The walls are closing in on him. Every terrible thing he has done, every life he has ruined, every manipulation he has executed is coming back to haunt him in the form of these violent, psychological hallucinations. He is completely losing his grip on reality, and you can see the sheer terror in his eyes because, for the first time in his life, he cannot control his own mind. And the hallucinations, can we just talk about how intense they are? He is likely seeing the ghosts of his past mistakes, the faces of the people he has crushed to build his legacy. The guilt over Nikki's assets is the anchor dragging him down into the abyss. He knows he crossed a line that should never have been crossed. He violated the sanctity of their marriage in the most profound way possible while she was literally unconscious on an operating table. That kind of guilt eats at a person, even a person as notoriously cold as Victor. And then came the scene that absolutely broke me. I am not gonna lie. I actually shed a tear. Victor, in a moment of pure, unadulterated weakness, accidentally lets his guard down. The invincible facade completely drops. He isn't the ruthless mustache anymore. He is just a broken, terrified old man who realizes he has destroyed his own life. He accidentally reveals his deepest, darkest fears and his profound regret over what he did to Nikki's assets. He breaks down, and it is so visceral and real. You can see the agony tearing him apart from the inside out. He isn't scheming. He isn't plotting his next corporate takeover. He is just drowning in the guilt of knowing he betrayed the love of his life in her darkest hour. Which brings us to Nikki. Oh, my poor, beautiful, resilient Nikki. She has every right in the world to walk away and never look back. I mean, if my husband liquidated my assets while I was having brain surgery, I would be planning a murder, not a reconciliation. I was rooting for her to take him to the cleaners. I wanted her to team up with Jack and absolutely destroy Victor, but then, she sees him. She walks in and witnesses this complete mental collapse. She sees the man she has loved for decades reduced to a trembling, paranoid shell of his former self, and you can see the exact moment her fury turns into profound shock. She realizes that this isn't a game. This isn't one of Victor's classic, twisted manipulation tactics to win her back or control her. This is a genuine, terrifying mental health crisis. Okay, back to the point. I know some people are loving this and screaming that Nikki needs to leave him in the dust. And part of me agrees, I really do. Why should she forgive him? He brought Patty Williams back to town. He caused the Abbott family so much pain. He tried to dictate who she could be friends with. But then I look at the history of Victor. They are soulmates. Toxic, messed up, wildly dysfunctional soulmates. But soulmates nonetheless. When Nikki sees the raw pain hiding behind his wrongdoings, her heart softens. She understands the internal torment that is ripping him apart. She sees that the monster who betrayed her is actually a man who is completely broken by his own monstrous actions. And honestly, can we blame her for softening? When you love someone that much, for that long, seeing them in absolute agony changes your perspective. Nikki realizes that Victor doesn't need a rival right now. He needs a lifeline. He genuinely needs her. Not as a pawn in his corporate chess games, not as a trophy wife to parade around Genoa City, but as the only person in the world who truly knows his soul. The realization hits her like a ton of bricks. This is the moment he needs her the most. If she walks away now, Victor might never recover. His mind might permanently fracture. And despite all the anger, all the betrayal, and all the toxic ultimatums he gave her about Jack Abbott, Nikki cannot bring herself to abandon him to his own demons. She just can't. And as much as I want her to be an independent, ruthless queen, I totally get it. It's human. It's real. So, Nikki makes the ultimate sacrifice. She pushes aside her own massive grievances. She puts the stolen assets, the controlling behavior, the horrific jealousy over Jack, and the entire Patty Williams nightmare on the back burner. She decides to stand by his side. She is going to support him through this mental breakdown, and let me tell you, this is going to be the hardest fight of their entire marriage. Helping someone through deep depression and severe paranoia is exhausting, especially when you are still recovering from your own major surgery and facing potential blindness. Nikki is taking on a monumental burden, but she is doing it out of pure, unconditional love. She is choosing to be his anchor when he is lost in a sea of hallucinations. I am honestly so incredibly invested in this storyline right now. I can't believe they are taking Victor Newman down this path, but it is brilliant television. It adds so many layers to his character. We are finally seeing the psychological toll of being a ruthless dictator for 40 years. You can't just destroy lives and expect your own mind to remain pristine. The karma has manifested as a mental breakdown, and it is poetic justice mixed with profound tragedy. But what does this mean for the rest of Genoa City? If word gets out that Victor Newman is losing his mind, the sharks are going to circle. Jack, Kyle, Phyllis, they are all plotting their revenge against him right now. If they find out he is vulnerable, hallucinating, and depressed, they are going to strike hard and fast. Think about it. Kyle is already out for blood because of what Victor did to Diane and Jack with Patty. Phyllis is desperate to get out from under Victor's thumb and reclaim her power. If the Newman Empire is left unprotected because its emperor is battling his own mind, it is going to be an absolute bloodbath. Nikki is going to have to step up in a massive way. She isn't just going to be nursing Victor back to health. She is going to have to become the ruthless protector of the Newman legacy. She is going to have to fight off the Abbotts and anyone else who tries to exploit Victor's mental crisis. I am so here for CEO Nikki Newman fiercely guarding her husband's throne while he fights his inner demons. I know I am rambling, but I just have so many feelings about this. Am I the only one who thinks this is the best material Eric Bredin and Melody Thomas Scott have had in years? The chemistry, the angst, the raw emotion. It is soap opera perfection. I am dreading the moment Victor's enemies find out. But I am also kinda excited for the drama it will bring. Will Victor's mind heal? Will he ever be the same again? Or has the great Victor Newman finally been permanently broken by his own sins? I need to know what you guys think because my mind is spinning with theories. This show just knows how to pull you back in when you think you've seen it all. Victor's downfall coming from within his own mind rather than from an external enemy is a masterstroke of writing. Nikki choosing love and forgiveness in the face of ultimate betrayal is classic way and or. I am gonna be glued to my screen for the next few weeks to see how this plays out. Let's just hope Nikki's own health holds up while she tries to save the man who almost destroyed her. What a wild, emotional, crazy ride this is turning out to be. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.